The Elisa Lam case, the most disturbing true story I know. For those who don't know this case, it's real and it's absolutely terrifying. I want to tell you about a case that has haunted me for years. It's about Elisa Lam, a 21-year-old Canadian student whose death was so bizarre that it's hard to believe it actually happened. But it did, and the details are just disturbing. In January 2013, Elisa was traveling through California and checked into the infamous Cecil Hotel in Los Angeles. If you've never heard of the Cecil Hotel, it's notorious for being a magnet for creepy and tragic events. Serial killers like Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, lived there. There were countless suicides, and many guests reported paranormal activity. The place has such dark energy, it feels straight out of a horror movie. Elisa stayed at the hotel for a few days, but on January 31st, she vanished. Her parents, who were in regular contact with her, reported her missing. The police searched for her for days, until a surveillance video surfaced that shocked the world. This video is still online today, and I highly recommend watching it. But fair warning, it's super creepy. The elevator video. The video shows Elisa in one of the hotel's elevators, and what happens there doesn't make any sense. She walks in, presses multiple buttons, but the elevator doesn't move. Instead, the doors remain open. Elisa nervously peeks out of the elevator as if someone is following her. She steps out, hides in the doorway, and her movements start to get even stranger. The creepiest part? She looks like she's talking to someone invisible. Her hands move erratically, almost unnaturally, as if she's describing or interacting with something or someone. Finally, she steps out of the elevator entirely, and after she's gone, the doors suddenly close and the elevator begins to work as normal. Nobody knows what happened in that moment, but it's the last time Elisa was ever seen alive. The gruesome discovery. 2 weeks later, hotel guests started complaining about the water. It tasted strange, smelled bad, and sometimes came out of the taps brown. A maintenance worker went to the rooftop to check the water tanks, and that's where they found Elisa's body. She was floating inside one of the tanks. Here's where it gets really bizarre. The tanks were hard to access. They were sealed with heavy metal lids that Elisa couldn't have opened or closed on her own. The rooftop was also secured with alarms, and only staff members had the keys to access it. The police later ruled her death an accidental drowning, likely caused by a psychotic episode. Elisa had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder. But how does that explain her being on the roof? Or getting inside the tank? And why does the elevator video look so off? The Cecil Hotel. There are so many eerie details about this hotel that it feels cursed. Serial killers, suicides, paranormal sightings. It's like the place attracts darkness. Some people believe Elisa's death is connected to this history. Others think someone at the hotel was stalking her and murdered her. And then there's the video. No one can explain why Elisa was acting that way. Was it a psychotic episode? Was she being followed? Or was there something else? Why this case is so creepy. I think what disturbs me the most about this case is how real it is. There's no monster, no supernatural villain, just a young girl who disappears and dies in a way no one can fully explain. And that video? Every time I think about it, I get chills. If you want to watch the video, just search Elisa Lam elevator video. But be prepared, it'll stick with you. And if you're ever in Los Angeles, think twice about staying at a hotel with a history like this one. Have you heard of this case? What do you think actually happened? Psychosis, murder, or something supernatural?